그런데 남네 예용 쇼데 두지 니몰라다 베베 군대 남아줄라 쪼다 대선 남아니제 디네네 비라 유 비질리 세제다자 네 자가 공걸 공바 네 시긴 주모르마지기네 라라 데 데메바다나 다시롱라 숑에 다 다질레라 숑에 칼렘볼라 숑에 다 비엘라 숑에 딜레라 숑에 호텔라 숑에 다 드레진다 간다만다 조정도지 쇼된라 니 탁바니 대바 조함메바 유행에 대답기다 찹지는 갈라데 이제 지가시지 시로시 지금도 딘데순다 안에 토마티 대다 상황이 잡치네 니레 초다가는 베베다 요로 초다가는 베베 니 쇼영에 라마 미시레 네 주석이 진다래 디 군대 넘바 기존 넘바 네 주석이 기존 넘바 네 대산 넘바니다 단다 디 페사 향에 점네 근데도 정말라 토마티 대다 대다 잡슈네 참들 자시들의 슈기
So as I was requested to say a few words on the behalf of all the venerable Sangha present here today, especially from Serpom and Shugden, from Pelgeling and Segyu, from Tromogeshwaram Monastery and Labrang in the north of India, and all other different people that have come here together as with pure faith in one's own lineage and protector, I would like on the behalf of everyone to give my deepest and sincere greetings.
다들이선자 따지다 잠니 제영슈네 뒤체 산다 뒤den게 모두도 뜻네 슈고 말하던다 강라 요르 쇼된 소바레 니산에 이탈리 산에기 종미레 네게 가서 라덴실랭기 다 문제지 게 데즈데 산라 우주 참마게네 세시 슈자상 디기 베지 참마게네 디기 되버치기 인스.
So there is not much that I need to say regarding this celebration, as before from this part of Lekshe and Rapten Chunin Unze, Tenzin Tunsan, they have very clearly explained the reasons, and also Genjan Chugensen, they have very clearly explained the reasons and the importance of these celebrations.
Tine dato ngaratsudi 강에 침부지 올라 마그 달람진 수수기다 나도 지슈딘 땡이 있어 가는 뭐 당가테도 수수기다 지슈딘 때 참지 지도면 때 나가라 독이 인세져라 어다 되게 존재한다 그봐 어디서이나네 시가야 돼 아장 개침을 했어.
So under a lot of pressure and under a lot of difficulty, many of us have made the decision that, okay, I will continue to do the practice of dorje shugden, I will stay stable on this path. And a lot of difficulties came in relation to that. And I believe it's very important for us to remind ourselves of the reason why we made such choices.
다치당 알아서 dorje shugden 땡이 dorje 벤투 참마기 조조 개치시도 된다 도도 지다 마음을 열었다 돈다 님부도 지슈기로 알아서 땡고 준생 가래 디가라슬라나 지담 딘주 된장네 맞아 자갈 말에 녜라 딘주 된장 네 라선 딘주 골라 뇨다디 구조차래 라도 지슈된 디네 댄수제 참주 제국도 슬란 디르진 용리디 디드니 롱사래 다 디들론도 다 디들 접지 남아서 시슈로 와 접지 투장 도지장 시슈래 접지 투장 도지장 시슈도 다 자르무지기 접지를 무지라 당에까지 시에는 얘기 말해스 얘기 칼레카브레스 다 르무지 차랑 게 지송바이나 니 자시벌 차랑 게 제제 가면 수지 năng 디니 치그레스 어떤 레진에 접지 투장 도지장라 우조진네 팀마 마모진네 드레진네 리군은 마송나 kumono maso direchine cheres dinga daga tangbole dinge gosons.
So, first of all, we need to understand that these difficulties didn't start recently. Already in the 70s, when I initially arrived in India, they were already present. So during that time, also Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang was also alive and present in India. And at that time already started these voices and these words about, especially in connection also with Dalai Lama, saying, that the practice of dorje shugden is something that should be left aside and things like that. And during that time also it was said to Trichan Rinpoche, look, whoever may say anything, if you say one word, it's more powerful than thousands of words said by anyone else. So please, you say something regarding this matter. So this was said at the time, not once but many times from the Dalai Lama and others to Kyabje Trichan Rinpoche at the time.
Timo mamu direchine kumanche ba yinsunza tamadela ne Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang gi kalenda bodi karna baresna nge chujon dorje shugden tengi me slavina ryu gelobane chujon dorje shugden nge tengi islange soyungres ti kalenda ti na bares tadi yunge ge nambatsu gembatsu peje kubo konyora da.
So, as many of the elders at the time have heard that, after many times of insisting, then Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang finally gave a formal answer saying, if I myself, I am not clearly positioning myself that I will continue and I will always do the practice of dorje shugden, then who else in the Gelupa tradition will be able to do that if not me?
드레순자 되게 가라 땡고도 때인도 가라서 다수속에 삼르장을 하고 가라서게 남지 루치오스 송 취람도 랑라 바제메 바스게로 대다기 요 길로 비템발라 이치다 대바용에 디 초로 조버제발라 루치오스 송 랑라 바제메 바사 디 디용버제발라 송모지고 송모디 요 길로바게 네바도 초정 도지쇼 된 땡기 마테네 디기 메바지 디기 된지 고고도 가라서 구토고도 하디.
So, as we have often said in our path, that our main objective is for the mind to become the Dharma, for the Dharma to become the path, for the path to be free from interferences. And this is our main objective. So within that, one of the aspects that Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang stated very clearly to us is that we need a protector connected to our lineage to help us within our path to be free from interferences. And without such a Dharmapala, we can very difficultly follow well our path. And that's why we need to rely upon a Dharma protector. That's why we need to rely upon dorje shugden.
티티레 니라네 Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang 공로 딘지 딘지 딜로에나 딜로 지동 고자 딘지 딘지로라 말아서 남진 된데 년데 지지 잠에 주비고 사야디 디든제 나와래 디주에네야 디드 다 상해상해다고 나 디드 린롱다고 디드 요선다 미스카네 Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang게 딘데지네네 자송나마 인지레서 나랑기다 삼 센라 딘데로 지 딩게.
And also Dunji Dengero, So also in 1971, Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang wrote this prayer for dorje shugden, which is called the Words of Truth, Dorje Tatsik, Kye Jambe Trobeku, and also which is a very strong prayer requesting dorje shugden's actions and blessings and so on. So I think at that time that the context in which Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang wrote this prayer was to put clarity on the importance of us to rely upon such protector.
디솔라 테니 가라츠기다 뎀바티 가라츠기 뎀바사야데 가르스나 Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang라서 봤다 가라츠 로아메비 네 니신이기 짬네 로아메바 라마를 지기 와라 다 라마를 지기여서 라메기 송디 가라츠 체마송이 라메기 송기 된다데다 되는 거마 뎀비 되는 거마디 차고 와라 디게네 디 되는 가라츠게네 뎀비 되는 가라츠 답지지고 와라.
So in essence, Kyabje Trichan Dorje Chang has been and it is our refuge on every aspect, our guru, our full refuge. And once we take true refuge with such an enlightened master, his words, his advices, his teachings are the actual truth to which we should hold and rely upon. So that's based on that we should keep his advices and his words as the truth that we rely. So when we say by the power of the truth, when we talk about relying upon the truth that we rely upon is the words of our own Guru, Kyabchirichan Dorje.
그래서 가라츠 뎀비 탑서지고 그래. 뎀발라 뎀비 람라 쥐네 파조강라네 가라츠 다카테송데 니리 지주 마로 가라츠기 센나 뎀바데송 뎀바 디기 되라 가라츠게네 당시 도지벤도 참먹이 차와 중대지네 잘리나고 그래. 디기 바로 파조강을 내봐다 드리체바이네 가란출을 내비 삼바다 드리메우자 내봐서야 되고다 자원이네 여 말해스.
So it is important to understand that we did everything that we did up to now to follow such truth, which is the words, the holy words of our own gurus. And at no moment all our activities, our gathering, it has ever been with any intention that formally or informally to harm anyone, to go against anyone. We have never positioned ourselves, and we shall never do to position ourselves to be against anything or anyone. We just want to keep purely the truth words of our Guru as our truth and to follow such path. Then if someone is unhappy about that and feel harmed from that, that's not something that we can take responsibility upon ourselves.
디안에 로베 진짜 나랜데 개바 바덴다와 다바기 오마주반 세보진의 소요라 다기더니 지신셰바 신중지 지버를 주는 예바메 슬라네 스다 추부진 드니진 소요레스.
So also as Chandrakirti, one of the great masters of Nalanda, he stated very clearly, once you act with the correct intention and the correct awareness, and if other people feel harmed by it from their own judgment and so on, you have no fault within it.
대양 알아서기 덴바랑 손네 덴비 탑스 제거하마도 다가지네 쯧바제야다들이 말해스로 드리지어 있다 덴바 로베 바오라니기 가르소르나 디신시비 춘데니스 쯧바제 진제 송마이스 왠자 미 비신다 아니 디 페이지 고안 좀 소요레스 되게 디다 던다스 간가 던다 집어라 나라서 덴베 라로 쥐네 바로벌 뇌바다 바로벌 포바다 드리지바이네 나라솔라네 네바 요 말에스 페나 메기 비신세바 나시레스 그러다 비신 자살을 샤나고 미 지금 말아 어딘데스 디다 던다 집어레스 되죠.
So similar also another great master called Loben Powell, he also make one of his teachings. He's saying that once if you act with the right intention and the right awareness, with a pure motivation and so on, if someone out of that action, out of their own judgment, doesn't feel happy with it or feel harmed about it and so on, you don't take any guilt in relation to that. It's just like if there is a place where there is fire and the wood goes on the fire, the reason that the wood burns is not to blame the fire, it's to blame the wood that was placed in a place where it was not supposed to be. So in a similar manner, in the same way, when we act based on the truth, with a pure intention and so on, then if someone have their own wrong judgment and their own way of seeing and they feel harmed by any of that, this has nothing to do with one's own responsibility in relation.
근데 마송으로 지스 야슝에디 랍도 림바신도 중요해. 라마 세녀라 젠다 디주이네 단다 잡지 주자두지 장기 디리슈바 디젤라 잡지 예인시원주 개와 예인시원주 자갈라페도 아니 자르미질라 디리지 가면도 마송으로 지스라는 무슨 마슈네 되라 쉬어래. 슈바레디 디게 마센로다. 마센바 디치고 말단다 배송 줄라기 네 소요래 라메 가송 지송까지 두고는 미송고송 마송로지스 진제 레버 통고는 민제 군제 만제로지스란 두두 배송 줄라기 가데 소제는 막 두지르 고든 바테바도 코나미 진다지네 앞이주래도 오 딘디지네 2차 단다 이네 대강라 제야 여러 장목에 하고 그래 딘디지네네 시정 가지지 제네야 마셈바 예수자 tene gochu gudo ni sonde da ngogor che tapde gada ticheya da tene yorosho den soba da ari da tiso kasakala ne ndechine lingui pigoya te tanda tisul tugo are ya kazichi ne shejongchi kazichi shune ya masebachi mutine di shugo sonda da ngosu denerwa da ndechine lingui pigoya ndechine chabare yes.
So, up to 1996, many different masters such as Kyabche Trichan Dorje Chan, and later also the great master, also Geshe Yeshe Wanchuk, and others went to His Holiness Dalai Lama and made a direct request, please do not say such things, please do not go in this direction, and so on. And but this was never listened. There were many people that said, even there was one statement that became quite famous at the time, in which in Tibetan it sounds very nicely, to translate is a bit difficult, but in which it says, if I should follow purely every advice and every word that you say, please do not say things that are not fitting. Please do not tell me to do wrong things if I should follow every word you say. If I should see every action you do purely, please don't do strange stuff. This is like in very few words which was said at the time. And in many different occasions it was stable, but it didn't work out. So since 1996, there was the need truly to come out and to act in many different ways to keep our own position of truth as truth and not to be seen as something which was wrong or anything like that.
어디 다시 얘기하지는 많이 뒤에 교회야 당 두 간가 라망가 주거든 소야라 리바이네 미네들 치기 장스 리바치 된다 자 리바치 아주 제 리바치 이내야 수수기 제 토그 메나 다들 치기 시장진데 마디 지마주로지 디스야 쉬야 요래서 단다딘 가라주기네 슈드 미팅바 미리바라 시장제한테 대회장 안에 주고래서.
Also, as it is said in the 50 verses of devotion to the Guru by Ashva Agosha, in which states the correct way of relating to one's own Guru, it is stated very clear that if the Guru tells you to do something that if for different reasons you are not able to fulfill, you should openly state and ask permission not to do it because you don't have the capacity or the conditions or for whatever are your reasons not to do. You should not just stay silent. You should openly discuss and say, sorry, you request me to do this, you gave me such advice, but because of this and that reason, I am not able to do. This has been stated. So especially when actually when is given an advice where there is no particular spiritual reasons, no other special connection things with the Dharma, and there is within, from the very spiritual Dharma point of view, we have the full right to go to one's own master and to say, sorry, I cannot fulfill this request for this and that reason.
사마게니 시바나게 준진들이 가라서 수도 우주진도 수도 대고야 당 그 사마 디술라 토고레스.
So this is why we have up to now kept very strongly our own position with a lot of effort.
근데 그바다버디 가라서는 가라서게다 기대니지 짓tem바스거와. 녀네 뒤에 템바. 근데 실레메버치. 잠본링딜라. 코르지 심마동지 보다 내 도야기 제도 가라서게 디텐도 디제기니스. 다부적이 인식와라. 다부쟁에 매와 있고 잘라나 맞아 남시전을 놔두고라. 어떻게 손자 가라주게 실레메베 땀바 딱 제라만남네 바 주베 녀네 주베 녀지지 땀바디 실레메베디 가라주게네 마오바나 텔라테데 영에 주기다 실레메베 땀바들 문에다네다 추장마 간지장마 나신도지 롱주야 여바 디 된도 가라주네 단다이나 깔리제야다 그래서 상마 tindechi chago 그래서 그래서 메링오리네 tindechi네 소수기 수도 되네 tindechi 고야 돼 고바트 따도로부터 디스레스.
So we have committed ourselves to keep purely our lineage, which we call the whispered lineage of Ganden or the oral lineage of Ganden, which means there is a transmission of teachings, of experiences that is passed from master to disciple, from ear to ear to us. And once it comes to our hand, it is our duty to keep it purely. Similar like water. If you receive a very pure water, you must be able to give to the next one coming after same pure water. The water shouldn't be polluted, or you shouldn't lose the water in some way. And in this same way, if we talk very openly, if we receive such lineage, but we don't keep it correctly, there will be nothing left for those coming after us. So we really need to keep very purely this lineage, and this is our duty, and that's the main reason of why all the effort that we have been doing up to now, and of all that was done, that we kept strongly our position. It's mainly because we have also a very profound duty and responsibility to receive and to keep and to transmit purely the teachings and the lineage that we received.
나다 시행다 계계지 요마레스 이네 나랑 준센다 구바다오지 딘데다오지 삼로다 딘데진데 도지쇼된라 이지 대바지야다 드제 딘데 인이스로와 요망에 이기들이지 디 지난 라주 도지쇼된라 로추선야 조바메스 가사 라주 도지쇼된라 로보테 생디네 로포티테스 쟁기 로추스는 조바메스 당가만의 딘치에스라지 어디지티 당가만의 어디 소소 고고라다 지단 저는 로추싱에다 때나 하고라 뭐마기 라로자와 침볼라네 이단 도지지 템바텔라 미신지 참여다 근데 지기도 될라네 라로자게 칼렌더 어디티 송렌더 어디 되지 째나요라 이단 도지 지젤라 로추스는 로비추레스 로추스는 조바메 수수기네 센디네 로 포디 도지 쇼델 때가 당가사 도지 지젤 때 딩에 당가데 싸와니는 노메스무도 어디 나신 가라서 도지 쇼데 담바라와 당바에서 당바딜라 수수일 센나라 수수라 딩저여 가지고
So as this is just sharing with you my own thoughts and how I see the reason why we keep the position and we rely upon such protector. And for me, even some years ago, I have written some verses, and which is similar as it happened to Ralo Tsawa in the past in Tibet. For those of you that know the stories, it's very clear, but making it short, Ralo Tsawa was one of the most important masters that kept purely the lineage of the practice of Yamantaka in Tibet. And during that time in Tibet, he received a lot of criticism saying that the practice of Yamantaka was an not correct practice and was like untruth dharma and was very bad to do the practice of Yamantaka and so on. And he gave one answer at a time in which he said, you can call the practice of Yamantaka wrong, bad or anything, and I don't care whatever name it holds. What I care is that within my own mind, I know very clearly that I am doing the right choice. I know very clearly that I am on the correct path. So similar to that, I don't care personally what others may say or not about dorje shugden, this or that, but what is important for myself and for every one of us here is that deep in our mind, we should have the clarity of why we rely upon such protector. And this is what we need to have very clear within us. So within that we have faith. We rely upon such Dharma protector as dorje shugden, and then there are many practices to be done, there are realizations to obtain, there are blessings to receive, there is holy actions to be fulfilled. There is a lot to be done within it and a lot of benefits to receive also from that.
Yeah. La dorje shugden la da todo neba patomeba yore yineya todo tele susulun joma jodi susun ngene ya ane soa melam de yare tilechuyare di majina la to jisho de la ngara to de neba yes la ngara sula tilechuyagi tapti ramazon de nyenge mare esti.
So the great protector dorje shugden has a lot of power of activity, and there is a lot of strength and power to benefit. But it depends also on our own faith. It depends on ourselves practicing correctly and relying upon correctly on the protector. It's not something that is only something depends fully only on the Dharmapala. It depends very much in the way how we behave and our own practice and how much we rely upon.
나중에 비로지네 ngoma jagala jungju joji padaya de shalashi jungjoji de shugin isro ngoma joji padaya de jagala shubi kodla chiru mete ba nyamdo tsabaje ne dai tune tsabaje ne tamadela chiru mete ba zugi dai kanil chila ne twatang ne joji padaya de kato ne le songlen de dema towaji tindeji labara yes.
So one example is that before, in the 11th century, the great Atisha, before coming to Tibet, there was a moment in which there was a very strong, big public debate with other non-Buddhist traditions. And there was this very long debate, and then there was one moment in which Atisha was not able to answer to one point.
디 로주디 다치데 참마 쉬우메로 다 장사 디네제데 레마데데 쯔바제데 쯔바데 참 바로 좀 마샤고서다 바로 좀 마샤 딩이 마 자갈라 디네제 로수지여서 디네 좀 마샤도 남사 조지 바데데 징샤라페 나다 징샤나라 조지 바데데 셰이데 주지 좀이 고치요 꾸인 된들라네 소아멜람데 소아멜람데네 다이 칸네 요새 참마 말로바 콩도 쳐봐 드리지 총발했어. 되게 가라 땡고래서는 가란수기 라달라말라 토다 네바 연애야 가란수 수수응원이야 멜람 대바다 소와다바 리와주바 어디를 고고래스 디야드나 닝가라 조지라 모티바틴 되버도야 통도 여래 주지 좀말라양 티타비 모티바tin 되야기 통도 여래티 통도 여마 지구 병음이도와 대선자 디다비게네 랜다버티 조지 바다야 디샤기 셰버지야기 탑다버티 디디 많이 버려서 그러다지 주주님이 야소와 마다바 인수다.
So at that time, according to the tradition, when there was a moment in the debate where there was like, how to say, a moment in which someone didn't know exactly how to answer and it was like blocked, then they will make a pause. So during that day, there was a moment of pause in the debate, in the public debate. And Atisha went to his room and he made special prayer requests to Aryatara, in which he was like saying, okay, now I am lost. I don't know what to say. I don't know in which point I am. How can I continue into that? Then after making these very profound requests to Aryatara, he received clarity of exactly the understanding from the other side of this non-Buddhist view, and then based on that understanding he was able to find the correct way to win the public debate later. So what I mean is that in the very moment in which started, Atisha since the very beginning had a lot of faith in Aryatara, and he had a very clear intention and pure motivation in his debating, and he has all the knowledge and everything. Aryatara from the other side also had the wish for that debate to go well and gave all the blessings to Atisha. But he didn't get the key to do what he needed to do until he formally made the request. So until he didn't go there and strongly made the request for the blessings of Aryatara, the condition was not created for him to receive such blessings and have such clarity. So it's not just a matter of there being the blessings and from the part of the deity and the faith from the part of the practitioner to formalize and to make such requests. It's a very powerful tool to make this connection.
다 수수기 따버들게다 드리에는 지다 아리기시 침보 아리기시 선지여는마 안도지 아리기시 침보 전세회에서 이 송문의 열에서 되게 가라서 말씀다 진짜 서 맞다봐도 드림에 틀린 조기 탑디 많이 버려서 거다 드림이 틀리더라 줘야기 탑디 많이 버렸어 서 메라마도 보다 대송자 안에 kunju tuji china ya so madam na chinlam jubi tamere station da garaj garje ko kunju la chat ya kunju la diyo do shapa je ya ane kunju mendri phe ndi so de ya de tenda tigi tenda res la dire jine mendri phe ni so da bola bego so garaj la ne danga no ma so na menga no de dire jin na res.
So also as is stated by one important master, which Kinamboche is citing, in which also said like that Atisha didn't find his method until he made the actual request. So showing the importance, that's why we make mandala offerings, that's why we make offerings, we make prayer requests. It is because in order to receive the blessings and to find the way, to find the method ourselves, it is something that it's not enough just to have faith and on the other side to have the qualities to give us the blessings and so on. We always need from our side also to make the deeper and strong requests. This makes a big difference.
Oh, digedi the sushebar chin ngarasu chamala da ichi da tebani yor da luwa meba. Kandijila tona ya ne juachi meba. Tirichi chago ra chida zu ne taki kong na shusa so ngarasu tangzi chiba. 원ችን 제바 나신지 도지변도 정말 끝나고 도팅 나고야 다 그래서 하장기 개침부 시부지 차거res.
So what I want to say is that we all here have a lot of faith, we have a pure commitment, we are truly have this strong connection all of us together with pure faith.
다든다 나라서디 뒤딘쪽 zamni shugden tuchen sen turen nyamdo so chodakane nyamdo pe nyamzong jiagi junzen misi chi garayara yas ngaran tena garayisna penze latengi penze ngoshiya ngutuje ta suzuki pamado jen bugozu ngoshite demodo ngaraje deba chama latengi na jungjejin ba nyam kambaje nyamdo sakajin dene jatong dena ku latengi ma da 좀 ngoshing marwa penze ngoshite 다 디수게 네 준전다 들을 때님이다. 그래서 쇼데 두전들이 소야 저는 조송 친구다 드리지 나야 돼 드술에서 중문에 던데 빼마시야고 참말하네 참만기 땅에 다기 쉬워나시기 참만기 찹슈네 지시랑다 가져요스.
So in the name of all the venerable lamas and geshes here, I like to say that I rejoice of this gathering. And one of the important reasons why we have such gatherings is because we need to come to know each other. We need to come to sit together, to share food together, we need to talk, we need to really come to know each other. And this is also something that is very important.
다들 도자지리 거비 준세다 주에는 pen 뭐마 구주 고대로랑 알아서다 대사 니라네 손도나 드리초 드리치네네 칼로나도네네 케바수수 송수 말아주 창원을 맞아는 깡치 이내로와 그 자취주요레스 팀에바지 창원도 로로진 냠도 당샤에 놓고 짜고선데 짜토고 말했어 dinashingi tamsi dobzachi yona neba shukuyore odire stringma kebasu dinejin kaloma nasons.
So also that's why it's really important for us truly to be united. And as in 97 in one of our meetings, some of the great knowledge masters said, like for example, if we take one piece of grass and we try to break it, it breaks very easily. But when we put all the pieces of grass together and you bind them very strongly, then they become very strong and very difficult to break. So similar to that, when we are all united with the same truth, holding on the same way, in the same direction, then this gives a very strong stability and strength.
Motatang dreva mevachin, motatang do the res, langedri yore. Nashi is Kuzuyangla Sagre, yes. Do Tata Patunetane, Dosachi, Tindichin in the Nyamdo, Chawa Tundin and Lungutulana, me, Missichinalina, Tundun Rizawan in the Marwa. Dear in the Longonet and the Tandabato, Ratata, did Marazu, Lala, Teba Yangi, Yunge, Tamangi, Chawa Tundi, Nabi, ne, to did it, Tingi.
So I feel that in all these years, since 2008, that where there was a stronger division of the monasteries and the bigger difficulties, we have been now, it's like 16 years have passed, and we have really very strongly kept our way. And at the time, some people from outside, they were looking and saying, oh, look at these people, they are just like in a car without a driver. At some point they will fall somewhere and have a bad accident. And actually here we are, after 16 years, which is not a short period in one person's lifetime. And everything is going very successfully, very beautifully in every aspect. So I truly rejoice of the direction we have taken all together. And this is possible through the unity of all of us.
어디 가라스나나 자와 동대 이미 준세 가서 지단 자와 동대는 자와는 신방래로 침보로 지에나 미치기 짜통 말와 다 추시 참 제일 미리라는 냠도 짜는 레라보지네 짜두고 그래서 디나 신지는 알아서 롱원 대비 롱원 딘데링라 딘데게네 다다바도 딘데지네 네토야